Yes. Mr. Billard.
Yes, sir.
You know, we did this video the last time. We were talking about Mr. KB. This is our steering. Are you seeing the way he's standing? This straight now instead like this. See, this is how he stands straight. It's bent. Well, but the concept remains the same because you have your 9 and 3 position, which from our last video we're talking to be the best. You have the 2 and 10, 12, which is actually the worst, according to me.
Youngsters.
Yes, all those niggas that cruise, that's how they place their hands. It's not very convenient, mostly on highways, because you need to maneuver fast. So that makes it very difficult. But when you have your 2 hands on your steering wheel, it's much more comfortable, and you know, you can
on a pavement like this, I use the steering control.
yes, it's very okay. It's very okay. And on even road or on paved road like this one, you can easily climb on maybe a rock or enter a sudden pothole, and it takes the steering away from your hand. So it is never advisable to drive with one hand only. Some people will do this.
Okay.
Very relaxed. On a smooth surface, yes, you can try something like that, but when the road is uneven, it can take away the steering from your hand, and you will need the other one to counteract the force that is carrying you one-sided. So 2 hands, whatever the case, is the most secure, the most comfortable.
So is there any form of tension you have in an unpaved road?
Oh yes, you do feel it. See, just watch. Have you seen?
Yes.
It's going to be changing direction. It will carry you one way or another.
Okay.
So if you don't handle it properly, you might swing to the left or to the right.
Wow.
Yes. So it's always good to handle your steering wheel with 2 hands.
Okay.
Like you see here. See,
Yeah.
have you seen how it's dancing?
Yeah.
See, we are going on one side. It carries you one-sided.
Yeah.
So always have your 2 hands on your wheel.
Okay.
Okay. Places like these broken roads, you always need to take your time to climb there. If not, you might damage your wheel. If not the wheel itself, the tire will get damaged.
Okay.
Now we accelerate.
So can you tell me about the gears, the required gears on the different types of roads we meet on the way, or is it the same?
Normally, all gears have their different function. Your first gear is for taking off, right?
Yes.
And the second gear is, you know, to give you the strength to continue from the takeoff gear.
Yeah.
Like this is gear 3.
Yes.
It's overtaking gear.
Okay.
If it is called, we are going a little bit fast.
Yeah.
Then if I go to the 4, that's the cruising gear now.
Yeah.
You can drive from here to Douala if you don't have any obstruction, just with the 4 gear, without accelerating too much. The car will feel comfortable and smooth, just like the way it feels now.
Yes.
You can go to 5. This is now the fast gear if you really want to go fast.
Okay.
But to cruise, just cruise comfortably without taking risk.
Yeah.
It's always good to stick to the 4.
Okay. So in potholes, which gear?
It depends how the potholes are.
Okay.
No matter the case, though, you understand?
Yes.
Anytime you need to slow down, there are some places where you need to slow down drastically or maybe a little bit too much, so you go back to 1.
Okay.
But if it's not that necessary, like now, I'm going back to 2 because we are climbing.
Yeah.
You see, I went back to 2.
Okay.
I didn't leave the 3rd gear to get tired. If not, it will require the 1st gear again.
Okay.
So before the 3rd gear gets tired, you switch to the 2nd, right?
Yes.
So that the 2nd takes it at the pace where it is capable to handle it. But if you are climbing up the hill and you permit the third gear to really get tired before you go to the second two will take it in a pace where it is already very slow. You will need to go back to first again.
Okay.
So always retrograde, as they call it, or how you say, back your gears. Yes, back your gears before it gets tired. Don't permit it to get tired. If not, you'll be using gears you shouldn't use in places you shouldn't use. So, it's all about understanding the language of the car.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, the loose chipping due to the gravel, the road construction has showed. It is also very dangerous, mostly on turns, because the car tends to skid due to the centrifugal force. You know, when you're taking a bend, you always have that sensation that the car is carrying you on one side, right?
Yeah.
Yes, that's the centrifugal force. It pushes the car to go sideways. So on road with loose chippings or gravel, as people locally call it, it is easy for you to skip off and lose your track, maybe go into the bush or something. So when you're driving on loose chippings or gravel, always try to, handle your speeds. Don't rush too fast. Mostly on tight turns. Yes, it's very dangerous.
So, what will you advise me to do when I reach at bends, paved roads, and uneven roads? What do you advise me to do, or as a learner to do?
Bends are handled differently depending on the curve or the angle, right?
Yeah.
Let's say the angle. If the angle is not too steep, right?
Yeah.
Or too sudden, you can handle them on high speeds.
Okay.
But if it's too steep, you need to come down. But in most cases, the roadworks, they normally provide speed limits.
Yeah.
You get to a place, you see 30, in some places you see 60, depending on how difficult the turns are. You will find boards, what we call speed limiters, where they tell you the maximum speed to take. I'm sure we'll get there when we get to the part of the road that is paved.
Okay.
We are still here on loose chippings.
So with that, how do I communicate or indicate to the other driver if in case I need more space to pass, or for me to grant him the access to pass?
Okay.
What should I do?
We normally say you're talking about overtaking.
Yeah.
Hopefully you're talking and thinking about overtaking somebody under the right conditions, because there are conditions to overtake, right?
Yes.
You always verify in your glass behind if there's not somebody that is already trying to overtake you.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You always verify, because maybe somebody is trying to overtake you while you're overtaking. So the first thing is to look in your mirror and make sure nobody wants to overtake you. Secondly, you move a little bit to the left, right?
Yes.
Make sure it is clear in front. You can signal the driver in front of you of your intention by giving a horn, like to call his attention. He sees you in his mirror. You engage your trafficator, right?
Yeah.
So that they know if somebody's coming behind you, he knows that you're about to move in the opposite direction before you overtake.
Okay.
And always make sure you have enough space in front to overtake.
Okay.
We have the road workers here. You can see here the gravel or the loose chippings, they are really deep.
Yeah.
What Mr. Kevin normally calls rat gum.
Yeah.
You know the rat gum,
Yes.
the one that catches rats.
Yeah.
Yes, because when you get there, it's very difficult for the car to move. If you can feel it. Are you feeling?
Yes.
The car is almost standing on the same space. That's why I believe Mr. Kevin calls it rat gum.
Okay.
These are very difficult places to drive. You need to have your leg on your accelerator on a constant pace. Don't add, don't decrease, because if you do, it's going to dig a hole and you get stuck. So you keep a constant pace. Your leg on the accelerator is constant. Same thing when you're in a muddy place. Once you have picked the pace, if the road is muddy or slippery, once you pick the pace, keep that pace. Don't increase, don't decrease, just keep it there. You'll be able to handle it.
I think I now understand why some drivers get stuck on muddy roads and why others pass over.
If you get to a place you feel as if it's about to stop, no, don't increase the acceleration. When you increase it, what happens is the wheel will keep turning and then dig a hole, and now you actually really get stuck.
Wow.
So you keep a constant pace. The secret is with the accelerator. Don't increase, don't decrease. Have you seen the gap between these two cars? He's not increasing, I'm not increasing, so we are walking at the same pace. If you see the space in between the cars, they remain the same, because the driver knows what he's doing. Probably he has been driving on this road for some time, so he understands it.
Okay.
Now, if I want to overtake him, traffic is on, and I go.
Wow.
And each time when overtaking, never you forget to indicate.
Yes.
Because the only way two drivers communicate is through their trafficators. Okay. Yes, there are directional lights, because if you don't, the driver behind you might think you are going straight and wants to overtake you, and that's definitely a crash. So here it's a bit solid, so we are going to accelerate here to compensate for the hill in front. There's a hill in front there, so I'm in second gear. Now I'm going to my third gear.
Okay.
If you feel the transition is very smooth.
Yes. I can feel it. Wow.
This place is steep, so we need to accelerate in order to, by the time the gear wants to get tired, you have covered the long distance.
Okay. So what do you actually mean when you say the gear gets tired? Is it like a human being that...
No, when the hill is steep, right? It's an engine. It has to carry the weight of the car. The weight of the engine is there. The weight of the cabin, your weight, and maybe the luggages that are behind the car, they also count as well.
Okay.
So the heavier it is, the lower gears you need. The lighter it is, the lighter gears you see, it's getting tired. I'm going now from third gear to second gear. I don't permit it to get too tired.
Okay.
If it does, I will need the first gear again. So change before time. Once you feel the effect, as if it's getting tired, right? You switch. Now I'm back to third gear. Had it been I waited a bit, I wouldn't have been able to move just from second and back to third again.
Okay. So
loose chippings.
Wow.
Again.
Yes.
These are the dangerous ones. On turns, if you want to take a turn here and you are not careful, the car will skip in the opposite direction.
Okay.
Back to 2. Now I will need one in front here, because this place is really not. See. Back to 1. Good.
Okay.
Then we start looking for second gear again by accelerating, right? Second gear. If the second gear is able to climb very well, it will go to the third gear. But if not, we maintain the second gear.
You see, as an ascent of how many percent?
Pardon?
You see, it has an ascent ratio of how many percent?
You can't really determine with your eyes, but it should be about 30. Be about 30, because I remember where we saw 40, it was really higher than this. But normally they always indicate with a board. I'm sure due to the fact that the road is still under construction, we are not up to the level where they have to indicate the degree of the descent or the ascent. It's a very 30 kilometers and the sharp bend at the same time.
So, sir, based on your experience, will you advise a beginner to use a road such as this?
Pardon?
when starting? Like as a beginner, starting trying to gain skills in driving, will you advise me to take this road or?
It is every road is an experience as a driver, right?
Yeah.
Because something that disturbs a lot of new driver, either it is boredom or something. But every new road, right?
Yeah.
Or every road is a new experience. Take it as fun, right?
Yeah.
And you see that you actually enjoy your trip. Because mark me, driving from Bamenda to Douala is not an easy task. At one point you get bored because you keep changing your gear, coming back, going forth, coming back, going forth. But whereas if you're driving and entertaining yourself, maybe by looking at what people are doing, I mean, stay in your periphery. Your view should not be distracted from angle to angle. You stay within the screen and entertain yourself.
Yes.
Like now I'm coming down and I'm watching the guy with the red car coming. You comment, you ask yourself questions. What is he? Have you seen he overtook there without any traffic or nothing?
Yes.
So many people make that. And it's written there 30 roadworks. He's overtaking.
If this was an automatic car, how would the experience look like?
With the automatic, it's really easy. It's a smoother ride. We have our double bend there, vicinity, no overtaking.
Okay.
But you see somebody will still overtake here because in a double bend it is not advisable to be overtaking because there are blind angles. Like now, you can't see what is coming from there.
Yeah.
If you want to overtake here and a truck comes out there, that's catastrophe about to happen. These people, have you seen 30? They are indicating because they know why they are putting 30 there for a reason. But somebody will come here and the person will be around 60 to 80, which is risky. The roads are still not, have not put the final surface that permits the adherence of between the wheels of the car and the road surface.
Yeah.
So when you have these smooth chippings, the adherence is not good. So you can lose control at any time. That's why when they're walking, you find them putting bolts with very low speeds. It's for a reason. To answer your question, Mr. Kevin, you said something about automatic cars. The automatic ride is smoother, less stressful, but tiring to me because at times it gets boring. Just sitting in the car and doing nothing and controlling only the wheel. So I like manual cars. That's my own opinion, though. So, but I've driven some really good automatic cars, man. Interesting rides. Wow, the road here is smooth.
Very smooth. Ooh. And it makes the air so fresh. So, are there any consequences like when they put the speed limits, apart from the fact that it has effect on you or the other driver, are there legal consequences for violating such laws?
Of course, when there is road traffic control, what they call radar, right? Yes, when you break those rules, you get fines. I remember I was traveling with a young man. We were going to Yaoundé. He was speeding. I told him, you are going above the speed limit. He did not understand what I was trying to say. But when we got in front, he was stopped and his number plate was presented to him for breaking the speed limit.
Oh.
Which was, I think it was 60. It went up to 65, 70. This is a market. You saw the danger agglomeration.
Yeah.
Yes. Where people gather, where people live, and things like that. So you have to slow down to be careful because people pop out, their children outside, bikes, a lot of things, animals like the dog we just passed.
Yeah.
Yes. It's a busy intersection of the road. So when you get there, you have to slow down. as we said, anytime you see a triangle, is slow down. Now we're out of the zone, I can go. When you see a triangle, slow down. If you do that, you have no problems. You can drive very safely. They haven't put the road markings yet, because some road markings are there to save lives. Where not to overtake, where to stay on your part of the road. You call his attention, make him understand that you're about to overtake him. Because if not, he might shift a little bit.
So I've seen many people make mistakes and they do overtakings and all the like without checking. And so, what is your advice? How can we do to make sure that the community gets enlightened on this aspect of driving?
One thing is certain is the ignorant person wants you have the zeal to upgrade your knowledge, you will do. For example, these videos we are doing, which is educative, those that are patient enough to go through the video, listen to what we are saying, they will actually get upgraded. Or you go to a certified driving school and get upgraded. So many of them even do those mistakes not because they don't know, just because they are careless. They do know the security measures to take to overtake or to take bends and so on and so forth, but they don't do it. I don't know if it's because they don't want to do it or they forgot their lessons, the lessons they took from school or something, but it's not everything we can judge. People are different. People react differently to education.
So, for someone watching this video and learning this thing and wants to know more or wants to get...
Since we don't have road markings, we just go like down to matters and there is those road markings.
Yes, of course.
Because we don't like to also see some of those road markings. You look like this guy is bad. Riding very long.
The road markings are there.
The central reservation here.
Yes.
Because it's a two-way.
Yes. 2 lanes leading in one direction and 2 leading the opposite. So they placed a central reservation. For those that don't know what a central reservation is, the central reservation is the part that they build. It can be built, it can be drawn with zebras. We'll explain a little bit more when we get in front there so that they can actually see. Like in Commercial Avenue, you see those.
Where this driver is doing this sweep and it's never great.
I don't know what he's doing, if it's a U-turn or what is the reason he's turning around. It could be a fault or something, because I can see the road workers there indicating for me to go. I think he wants to keep something there or something, I don't know. There are strange things happening on the road when you...
Okay, we're talking about central reservation, I'm sure.
Okay, this part, let me come a little bit closer to it. This part, this built up part in the middle, this is what is called a central reservation. It serves also as a guideline. That way is two lanes going up, and down here is 2 lanes going down with a central reservation. This is what is called a central reservation. Like the ones in Commercial Avenue, all those built up places in Bafusam, you will see them everywhere. So when development comes, beautiful things will come too, because I believe there will be electric poles there. Okay, let's just try to get to Nadia Matazim and rush and come back so that we can continue with our classes. We are here now at Sata. Still not road markings at this level. I think they still have to do the final touch. The road is not yet complete. I think they still have to add something, if I'm not making mistakes. Have you seen how the road with the central reservation is easier for you because you don't have any upcoming traffic, opposite traffic. The whole of this road leads one direction and the other side leads the other direction. It's easier to go on high speeds and so on and so forth. I think we used to have a bump somewhere here, so I must slow down. I think very soon we'll start seeing the markings and the road signs. Because this part of the road is already complete. It's all it needs now is just the road markings and so on and so forth. Now the bend here, always try to slow down a bit before you handle the bend so that it's not very uncomfortable. This is where the road markings begin. We have our lines there.
See the broken lines,
Yes.
the solid lines.
Most bends, for those our drivers watching, most bends are made up of solid lines. Even if it's there or not, avoid overtaking in bends. It's very risky. You see the solid line at the edge line there, they make it solid at times, preventing you to go over the line. We have no overtaking, and the first sign there says pedestrian crossing, slow down to 30. That's the warning. You have the temporal. Okay, now you have where they call the position sign. Have you seen the speed brake there in the blue?
Yes.
It's telling you exactly where it is. This is it here. Good. Then you have your priority sign there. It says priority at the next junction. But that doesn't mean when you see the triangle is slow down, be careful, because there are some people that don't obey those rules. You might want to go and you find yourself in trouble because somebody did not obey. So always be careful. Even if you have priority, just try to be careful. Have you seen where I think they are going to construct something like a parking there? That's a parking space there. Again here, speed limit. When you see 30, know that there's a speed bump. 30 comes with a speed bump or a speed brake, as we normally call it. That's it there with the blue signboard. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
That's a position sign. It's telling you exactly where the speed bump is located. This is it. Okay. So when you're driving, if you can identify all those signs, mark me note, you're driving, you will actually enjoy it, because it's very interesting to see those signs and understand what they mean.
Okay.
Now we have here still pedestrian crossing, 2 of them. Area frequented by children. You see this one, there's no speed bump. It tells you where pedestrians cross by putting a blue square sign, but still with the same drawing with the pedestrian on it. Now you have your solid line here because it's a bend. Here with a solid line here, as we see in the middle, it is forbidden to overtake. It is very risky. Don't overtake when you see a solid line. Stay this way and the other driver stays that way, and all of you are all safe. That's a safe driving. Yes, we'll make a turn somewhere here. We cannot be going, if we want to enjoy this road, we'll end up around Mafusam or something. See, I'm stopping at a junction to turn because it's a highway. I cannot turn on the highway. I have to stop at a junction and use the entrance to turn. I'm using this entrance. It's a highway, cars run here very fast, so I must use this entrance to turn. That's why you see at the entrance the lines are broken. If you see them, the lines are broken. I'll shift a little bit in front and make sure now that I'm seeing very well the left and right, so that my entry is not a risk or an accident. It's clear. I enter. that's how you do it. Always try to be safe. Don't just come and do a U-turn on the highway. It's forbidden. Look for a safe place or an entrance. You enter, you turn, then you come back.
Also, I realized why you when you have the money. Is there a reason for that?
Yes, this is where, in case of a collision, I don't put my hand above that place because that's where the airbag comes from. If the airbag comes and it comes out with very high speeds, if your hand is in front, it will use your hand and hit your face with it, and that is very dangerous. So it's always good to try to avoid the center of the steering as much as possible, crossing your hands over and things like that. It's there for security. It pops out like a balloon, and if your hand is there, it's going to use your hand now to hurt you. Whereas normally it's a balloon, something like a balloon that comes out for your security to prevent you from maybe, hitting your ribs on the steering wheel and so on. So if your hand is there, that's a whole lot of trouble. So it's always good to avoid this area when you're driving.
You find animals on the road.
Yes.
At a point like this, do you hunt to call their attention or you just keep going?
No, animals get scared by horns. When you horn, instead they tend to run and enter in the road. So it's best to slow down. They will actually shift away because normally they are afraid of cars. The car is bigger than the dog or a goat. He will always find a way to go away. But with your horn, he might instead come back into the road. So it's best to slow down and observe better.
How do you use your flashlight to signal them?
They won't even notice. I don't think. I've not been to goat school language or dog school language, so that one. Anyway, you can handle it the way you can, but first thing is slow down.
Okay, you talked about the issue of the steering control and the airbag. Have you ever been in a situation where the airbag comes out, or have you ever been in a car and probably we have a great impact and the airbag comes out?
No, not yet. But I've seen the effect in the car. Some actually come out really, really hard. I've had a few little scratches here and there, but I've never had an accident, as you may call it. But I've seen a car where the airbag came out and destroyed all of the front of the car. I think there's one airbag there. You see it is written there, airbag on the steering wheel. Also is written airbag. That's where it's located. And some cars are located even by the door sides, some by the seats even. So depending on the car, the make and model, all these new cars now come with much more airbags than the older models.
Okay, this is our question. You prefer drive in urban areas or highways?
Highways are very interesting because it gives you the ability to go on some high speeds, but I don't think you just get on a highway for no good reason. For example, went today on a highway for educational purposes. See, we have a bus in front of us, and when I turn like this, I see it's clear. I give my trafficator a horn, then I overtake. He can see me coming. I send my trafficator back to indicate that I'm coming back to the back.
So, when there are very good roads with everything intact,
Driving is very sweet when the roads are good. But as I say, take any opportunity or traveling experience or driving experience as fun time. Try to enjoy it. That makes it less boring and less reason for you to sleep on your steering wheel.
okay.
Always think of it as fun. Don't take it as a chore. Driving is really hard work, but it's rewarding for those that love driving. For me, for example, I enjoy driving, just cruising around. It's relaxing. So for those of you out there watching us right now, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel, Zion Digital Driving School. We would like to get your comments as well, because with your comments we'll know how to direct our next videos. And then for those that are not subscribed yet, please just click the notification button so that anytime we are uploading a new video, you will be the first to be notified. We are here already in Santa, where we have one of our branch, the Santa branch of Zion Digital Driving School. We are here. The reverse and park classes for those that are about to write, I think they are writing on the 25th of this month. Today will be their last exercise. So tune on to our channels and you will see everything that is going to happen to Santa. Thank you.